He leads 93 and he's got all the time he wants at it to go 3-0 up. Double
Game's
18
on
is
the
pinned and
third
that's a
leg.
14
Matt
darter
Cars.
game. Treble. Single. But low on the double. And so Cast
requires 6.
goes to the bottom of the board as Cullerton missed the top of the board.
Bit of a lurch with that one from Matt Cast, but nothing wrong with that last start. He takes a 4-0 win in his debut game. He'll be pleased with that. Don't worry about the average, young man. It's all about the wins and putting the points on the board. 80 average for him, 4 from 9 on the doubles. He'll be happy with that. Nice highest shot, high check out there at 93. A nice settling in game for Matt Cast. We head on to game 2 after the break, where we'll bring you Core Decker with Stefan Belmont. One of those, as he walks up to the hockey, it's like going through the magic wardrobe, isn't it? It just everything.
Game shot on the first leg.
Nice little
Belmont.
80 shot there.
For double 18 to complete a 4-0 victory. And that was superb from Stefan Belmont. 60 darts to win the match. An average of 100.2 to set a statement out to the field. He beats Core Decker by 4 legs to 0, who himself averaged just a shade under 90 and only had a dart at double to show for it. It was efficiency of the highest order from Stefan Belmont as he wins the game in 60 darts. A 4-0 win against Core Decker, and coming up after the break, it may well be the quickest game we see today as Scott Walters takes on Danny Lauby. The shots after 3 visits. 105 for Walters for 2-1. 13 leads double 16. And 2-1 Walters leads of what is the first ton plus checkout of the day.
25.
And that would have been to come back from 3-1 down to complete the job. And so Walters returns to double 16 to get over the line in the end. It was almost a hand of apology there as he got over the line. He was 3-1 up, Scott Walters. He looked in cruise control, but Danny Lauby put on a bit of a spurt towards the end, but Walters hung on in the last leg. A 4-3 victory for the Slatterball Master against the American ace Danny Lauby. That ends round 1's fixtures for the day. Coming up on the other side of this short break, we're going to watch Niall Cullerton and Core Decker go toe-to-toe.
By Cullerton.
Double 19 for the break and a 3-2 lead, and Core Decker may have just changed this game on a pinhead. Tops for the match. Come back from behind and to survive match darts. Cullerton is off the mark. He gets his first win of Group C. Getting the better of Core Decker in a last leg decider 4-3, having evaded match darts in 2 separate legs. Cullerton picks up his first win. He moves on to the board. That's the tail of the tape. It wasn't exactly a classic, but Cullerton picking up the points. That's the most important thing. Right, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to see the American Danny Lauby in action. He lost out to Scott Walters in his opener, and he goes up against Matt Cars. Had the perfect start on debut.
Average should I be doing to want to play this and want to be in that, and just go and enjoy the game. Don't worry about the average.
Game shot.
There you go.
Leg. Danny
nice
Lauby.
Little 68 kill there from Danny Lauby.
He requires 76.
Averaging over 105.5, 50% on the finishing. And as a dart at tops to seal what was a superb performance.
He require 106.
Keeping a trend of an average of 15 darts a leg if he can pile in the 116. It'll still be done if he can just nudge one into the treble 20 bed. And now double 18 for Belmont. For what is only the second ton topper of the day. A 116 for Stefan Belmont and a 15 darter playing to his type.
For Scott Walters.
$180.
Closing in now, average just under 96. 121 points away from a second successive 4-0 win. Walters needs the lot, finds the lot to keep him on a finish, but Belmont for the match and to make it 2 successive 4-0 wins to start the day. 121. It's going to be double 14 for the match for Stefan Belmont.
93. Scott, you record 131.
Twenty will leave double top.
Stephanie required 28.
Will he return? So it's Stefan Belmont. Win this match against a rival for the group. And he does it with one dart.
Stefan Belmont.
It's a 4-0 win for Stefan Belmont. A 95 average for him. He's yet to lose a leg today. As we can see, 95 average there, and it's the 44% checkout rate. It's all right getting to a double. It's getting yourself out. We're heading to a short break, and we will return with Niall Cullerton against Danny Lauby. You know, the players that do well in that set format are those guys that are doing 85s to 95s consistently, set
99.
after set, and that's the way that you get through the set play. So he's going to have to find that. I'm not saying he hasn't done it, because he has done that this week, and if he finds that what he's
60.
done this week, that high 80s average as a consistent average, then that's going to make him very difficult to beat. And then somebody's got to step up and do something special.
144.
Well, that is the setup of dreams. A 1-4-4 to leave himself tops after 12 to race into a 2-0 lead. And
100. And he required 40.
average ticking just under the ton. Double 10 is found for Lauby, and is found for a 2-0 lead. And he is backing up that 104 average from the last game.
Danny requires 70.
Averaging just a couple of ticks under the ton, and this for the double break. Tops.
Game
3-0. Lauby a leg away, averaging 98.02, dropping. He's going to have a couple of darts at tops here to send us all the way.
Niall Cullerton.
Danny Lauby accrued the double break. Steady himself for 3 more match darts at tops.
47.
He had the opportunity to get this done 40. To nil. He's now got the opportunity to win it in the final leg, or what would be back-to-back victories. Double 10 is found for Danny Lauby to get over the line in the end. He came racing out to the traps in the American. He was then penned back in by Niall Cullerton, who forced the last leg decider, but it was Lauby who just found a couple of big scores in that last leg that gave him the opportunity to win the match, which he duly took advantage of on double 10. So Lauby, a 4-3 victor against Niall Cullerton. And coming up after the break, we're going to see Kåre Decker in action. The Norwegian takes on Scott Walters.
We require
a big number on the 15. He eventually then lands into the treble, and Decker 108 to condemn the tale of woe for Walters. He's there for the double. Shanghai 18s is found for the break and for 2-0. And that may well be a breaker throw that severely hurt Scott Walters. Kåre Decker and a 4-0 win. Going to be tops. Double top for Decker is enough to win in the game by 4 legs to nil. Kåre Decker with a professional performance, an 89 average and 4 out of 8 on the doubles. Scott Walters, well, it was a bit of a struggle for him in the end. Visibly in some kind of discomfort. A 4-0 win for the Norwegian with an 89.73 average and 50% when it came to the doubles. We're going to take a short break. Upon our return, we're going to see Stefan Belmont, who hasn't dropped a leg so far today, as he takes on Matt Cast. Nobody can win a leg against Stefan Belmont at the minute. Double 10. For a sweet 16 in a row for Stefan Belmont.
The winner leg is now staring 4-0 defeat in the face.
Double 16 for a 4-0 win for Stefan Belmont once again. An 11 dart leg, an average of 98.5. They can't get closer to winning a leg, let alone a match. Stefan Belmont has been Stefan perfect so far. A 98.56 average, 4 from 7 on the doubles. What a day this is becoming for the Swiss so far. He hasn't dropped a leg. Everybody else is legless against him. Coming up after the break, Danny Lauby and Cord Decker.
That means you're doing the levels. You're going through the gears.
150.
Another immaculate setup for tops. And he's on for back-to-back 13s here. Tots a 3-1.
56. Danny requires
This was after
40.
a sluggish start. But there's nothing
shot on the
sluggish
fourth
about
leg.
this now
Danny
as Danny Lauby breaks the throw of Cord Decker.
Danny requires 60.
This would put Lauby on to 6
shot
points
and
in
the
the group,
match.
and Danny
Danny
Lauby
Lauby.
is beginning to build up a bit of steam. That's 3 wins from 4 from the American, but there's still a shake of the head. He still feels there's more in the tank. An 89-81 average and 4 from 14 on the doubles is pretty much a carbon copy of his displays yesterday. But today, it's enough to see him second in the group for now. Coming up after the break, the man who hasn't even lost a leg in 3 matches, Stefan Belmont. He's 17-0 up against Niall Cullerton.
Now you require 8.
Not quite enough oomph on the double 7 there from Belmont.
Game shot in the first leg. Niall Cullerton.
17, but he'll be going under. Will break a throw and a 3-1 lead. It would mean he'd be thrown for the match in the next double 8. Moves across about half an inch and then finds it. And have a look at what Wayne Mardle likes to call the peacockery of Stefan as well. When he released that last star, just hanging it out there to say, yeah, I threw it well field, including Danny Lauby.
Yeah, went ball, and that was a tight old arm there. There's only one way from here. Treble 19. And that's gone next door as well. 71. Alrighty.
Stefan, you require 40.
Tots of the match, and to keep up his unblemished record. And it feels like Belmont cannot be beaten at the minute. 4-3 success for the Swiss Stefan Belmont means that he is 4 from 4 on his opening day in Group C. Well, the only thing he'll be disappointed about is he conceded his first legs of the day in that match. He gets over the line eventually. Now, Cullerton did have an opportunity to put him away, but he couldn't take advantage of the 95. And so Belmont walks off a 4-3 victor with another average in excess of 90. Coming up after the break, Scott Walters is back in action. He takes on Matt Cars, both players on the back of 4-0 defeats last time out. Scott Walters might have a similar fate here on 90. Went ball first. And then finds the tops to lead 2-1. Interestingly, just trying to give himself a G up. Is that the sort of thing in that scenario you just want to do? Just try and get any kind of blood pumping in the body?
Move across to get a good sighter.
Scott, you require 60.
Not to beat. So Walters here now. For his second win of the day. And he takes it.
The match.
It's a win for Scott Walters. 4 to do over Matt Cast. We said that it could be a nervy affair. Averages there, nothing to write home about. But the thing is, it was 2 points on the league table for Scott Walters. The top 2 had started to get away. He had to stop them. We head for a short break, and we'll be back with Stefan Belmont versus Dan Lauby, the top 2 in the table.
Because he did this earlier on today, but then decided to go for double 16 and then pin it into the bottom left-hand corner.
Straight and safe was the play there for me.
There's the first part of the equation. There's the second, double 14 to send us the distance. A big finish and a big time, and Lauby is up to the task. And the top 2 will go all the way. Lauby for the match. At worst, should be a dart at the bull. 14 for the bullseye. For the match to condemn Stefan Belmont to his first defeat of the day. And Danny Lauby will finish the day on 8 points, and finally he can let out some kind of celebration, some kind of relief. Both players head off stage and have a chat about the match they've just had. And a good match it was as well, as demonstrated with those statistics. 95-79 for Danny Lauby, 4 out of 7 on the finishing. That 1-2-1 really changing the tide in the match. Stefan Bellmont himself, another 90-plus average, 3 from 7 on the finishing. But it is Danny Lauby who joins Stefan Bellmont on 8 points at the end of the day. Coming up after the break, Matt Cast and Cord Decker, one of them will finish day 1 on 4 points. 1:16 for the match is still on.
16 is there. It's tops for the match for Cord Decker. And he takes it. A big 1:16 for Cord Decker. He'll be happy that he leaves with 2 wins on what's been a strange day for him. There are the average. I tell you the thing. Cord Decker's 4 from 13 on the doubles. That's going to have to be sharpened up on. But as we leave for a short break, we will return with Niall Cullerton and Scott Walters.
Against Niall
Treble 7.
Game on.
Double top combination with 2 darts. It doesn't matter whether it's 86, 76. If 2 darters are 2 darters, then they give you confidence.
26.
To hit 26. But it was 2 treble 1s. He was a little unfortunate there.
Now, all that on the back of a 14 darter, just when Walters was breathing
140
down his neck.
Yeah, and he had sort of kind of turned the corner there, you thought, Walters, and it was surefire going 2-2, but
83.
Now he's got a lot more work to do. He's not standing back now. He's throwing a bit quicker and a bit harder. And now he's finding some more results. Here we go, another 180.
180.
For Walters. One in the last game against Matt Cast.
83.
Walters closing in on this leg. And, well, he's found a real spurt in this leg. 140, 180, 145 for a 10 darter.
He's really got on with it here, Scott Walters, and this is a 10 darter incoming. Bent the wire.
Game shot.
11 darter.
71 is what he wants. And tops is the 1 dart he's going to get to win it.
31.
But it strays the other side, and may that be a stray towards his hopes as Walters comes back. Looking at double 6, that would move him on to 6 points and would keep him in the mix, keep him in the race. For top 2 place, Scott Walters really had to work for the points that he accrued today, but 6 of them keeps him in the mix. A 4-3 win against Niall Cullerton in the final game of the day means that he is very much in contention for a place in Saturday night's final on home territory. The final game of the day sees Walters beat Cullerton by 4 legs to 3 in a group dominated by Stefan Bellmont and Danny Lauby, joint leaders on 8 points.
Thank you, Henry. Yes, it was dominated by that pair at the top, but a really good end of the day to Scott, and it didn't look like the game was going that way.
No, it didn't. It was midway through the game. He sort of found something there and started throwing a little bit quicker, a little bit more direct, stopped thinking so much, and the game came back to him.
Yeah, really good performance from him in the end. He kind of went missing in the middle of the day. We'll take a look at the results just to highlight that. Right in the middle of the day there, you see there's 2 4-0 defeats to Stefan Bellmont and Cord Decker. So Scott Walters has done really well to dig himself off the floor.
Well, to be fair, he's made the best of a bad job, hasn't he? I mean, he started really well and he did everything he needed to do at the start of the day. And then you would think he just fell away in the middle, but he's kind of recovered. He scraped one against Matt Cast, and now he's been quite authoritative there at the end and looked like there was only one winner.
Yeah, the story of the day, of course, has been, well, the top 2, but particularly Stefan Bellmont, because he came into today having won 4 matches on the spin, and then he won another 4 matches on the spin, including 3 4-0s in a row. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, these guys have to travel from a distance. it's got to be more difficult for them than us that's based here in the UK. So they have to come here and do it right. And I thought he was great today.
Yeah, and maybe some inspiration from Marcel Wolpen earlier in the week. He's in finals night. Stefan wants to be there with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that the guys back in Switzerland will be watching this, and all the top guys want to come over here and play no matter what country you're in. And that's what it's all about. And when you get here, you've got to try and take your chance. And you've got to say that Stefan's doing his best to try and do that.
Yeah, really. It's a really good couple of days for him. Danny Lauby was also in Group A, and he's had a really good day as well. He was really pleased when he spoke to me, Scott, about the fact he'd been a little more consistent today, because he can be erratic at times.
Yeah, I agree. And also, he was one of the names here today. There's a certain amount of pressure on him as well that he's got to perform. You know, he probably, knowing Danny, he would have expected to go through Group A, and that hasn't happened for him. So now he finds himself, he didn't even find himself in Group B, he's found him in Group C. So he's now applying himself right, and you know, he's in a great position now to send himself through.
And the big one was, of course, beating Belmont, wasn't it? Because not only did it get him level, it just keeps Stefan in sight of himself and the other players in the group.
Yeah, Danny showed a lot of maturity there in that game, because it took him to the seventh leg to actually get that job done. He had a chance early doors where a lot of younger players would have gone, oh, I've missed my chance, and you'd have worried about it and you'd have overthought it. But he didn't. He waited and waited. It was only those last 2 or 3 throws of that seventh leg that got him the chance, and he didn't waste it.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at how the league table stands, and it does see Stefan Belmont keeping on top spot despite that defeat, but Danny Lauby drawing level. Scott Walters with that win at the end, ensuring that he's just 2 points off the pace. Now, we know he came here on a winning mentality after that victory over in Serbia. Is he the one that could break their dominance, or could Kordeka or perhaps Cullerton or Cast manage to get there?
On that last performance, it could be Scotty Walters on that last performance that he's just done. That will be his first performance tomorrow. So he has to get that on the board tomorrow. He has to win again tomorrow, first game. And then Lauby and Belmont have got each other again. And then whoever loses that one is then right in the mix, providing Scotty Walters wins. So tomorrow's first 4 or 5 games are going to be so crucial and so dictated of where the group's going to go.
Yeah, plenty more darts to be thrown this week, plenty more darts to be thrown this series as well, and we're now going to reveal the players for week 5. Here they are, a return for Steve West, always strong here in getting through to Champions Week, but Simon Adams and Ben Robb coming here just before heading to the World Championship at Alexandra Palace. We saw Robb do something similar last year. He's a really, really good player, and the likes of Jeffrey de Graaf, Marco Cantelé, Tony Wood. I mean, you'll know plenty about all of those guys.
Absolutely, big rig. He's a nice lad too, Ben Robb. He's a good lad, and again, travelling all the way over from New Zealand. A nice little warm-up for him. Westy, well, we know what Westy's been about here. He's been really good. Jeffrey de Graaf, we haven't seen so much of him in the last couple of years, but he's now back on the scene and throwing some tidy stuff. So, yeah, that's a really tight Group A, isn't it?
Yeah, and Shane McGurk's been knocking on the door. Conor Heenahan, of course, hit 2 9-darters on that stage behind it as well. So maybe next week is the week to see another one. We saw one last week, and, of course, Steve West done it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we going to see another one next week? Could we see another one yet this week? Who knows?
Maybe we can. Well, let's just show you the players remaining to come into contention this week. Group B, in the middle of your screen there, Cam Crabtree, Rob Collins and Richard North, the final 3 to join the action this week. They're going to be joining Adam Hunt and Jacob Taylor, and that looks like another highly competitive group.
Yeah, it really does. You know, even when you look at Rob Collins there, how well he was playing a couple of years ago, could this be the group that sort of gives him the lift to get him back to where he was a couple of years ago? It's such a tight group. I can't wait to be watching it tonight.
Well, you can be watching it tonight as well. Scott will be here casting his eye over the players in action this evening. All of the coverage gets underway live on Sporty Stuff TV and for viewers around the world on the Motor Super Series YouTube channel from 10 p.m. UK time. We hope to see you there.